Thank you guys for tuning in to See the News Drama Cafe. We're going to talk today again about another K drama. This is a Netflix original, Bloodhounds 2. This is obviously the sequel to the first Bloodhounds that came out 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. And it was a story about two rookie boxers played by Woo and Lee Sang-gi who became friends, who tried to basically try to make things right with Woo character named Gung Woo. His mother had been involved in loan sharks, I believe, to try to stake her cafe or something like that. And the two boxers try to make things right and then they end up teaming up with a moneylender, um, essentially becoming bloodhounds. And we see all the action goes there. By the end of Bloodhounds, the first one, they did, I believe they actually did, make things right. So really, Bloodhounds, the first one, it could have gone either way. I feel like, it could have been a sequel. It didn't have to be, whichever way. Bloodhounds is originally is based on a webtoon. So I don't know how far that story goes, like if that had a season two or what have you, or if they just left it at whatever happened in season one of Bloodhounds. But here we are, season two of Bloodhounds. This storyline is a little bit different. So like I said, like it doesn't necessarily like connect or like essentially connect with the first season. So it could have gone either way. So it's kind of like another storyline here. Um, this one for Bloodhounds 2, now we have a villain who played by Rain, who is controlling an underground like fighting circle, whatever, where they get all this money just for fighting and things like that. They want to recruit Woojin, right? No, I'm just kidding. They want to recruit Gung Woo, and Woojin is just his buddy. That's played by Lee Sang-gi. But they want to recruit Gong Woo in this particular like ring of fighters. There's a storyline. I mean, but Rain's character, like he is a villain. So with having that underground ring, obviously nothing good comes out of it, and really he's the only one that's like benefiting from it. A lot of like dirty stuff goes on there. They did say that the Bloodhounds 2 is going to be more. You're going to see more fighting, more like I mean, it's just going to get more intense. And they were essentially right in this case. So let's talk about it here. First and foremost, do I like it? Did I like it? I don't know. If I'm going to rate it out of 10, I honestly would probably give it a 6, y'all. Don't come for me, okay? Because I know I feel like this is doing really well. I didn't look at any of like the comments or anything like that before I watched it because I didn't want to be biased on anything. I was really hyped, to see this. So I was trying to like give myself my own opinion. I love action, I love boxing, I love their physiques, all of that. This didn't do it for me. It didn't. What I'm noticing is that okay, so this storyline for season two is, you know, Rain's character wanting to recruit Woo-jin. And because he's not successful, obviously Woo-jin, like I said, he has a heart of gold. So he's not going to want to enter in a boxing ring. He just wants to do the sport. You know what I mean? He don't want to be like killing people and all that, blah blah blah. So he ain't down for it. But because he doesn't want to join, then I don't know what Rain's character's name is. I forgot. But he just go ape shit everywhere. Destroyed everything pretty much. He bad. So do I care for that? I mean, the storyline could work, but I feel like it was executed immaturely a little bit, to be honest with you. And then I think that the fighting, they were just fighting for no reason. It's just like every they focus too much on trying to make it look like it looks so intense. I don't know. They're too flashy with the fighting that it just to me it just didn't seem like it didn't seem naturalish. You know what I mean? It's a move. It's a show. It's TV, so it's not going to be like natural. But you could tell to me that it was choreographed. It was too much of like it looked like they were just sparring in the ring, like practicing. You know what I mean? Especially with Reigns, his first fight, everything was like you could see it. Everything was like calculated. Like you knew he was going to punch, so you moved this way, and it was so much of like the you could hear that in a real street fight. You ain't gonna hear all of that. You know what I mean? So the sound effects, I think, made it for me, it was just doing too much too. Maybe that was the thing, because it's like it was trying too hard for me. It was trying too hard. Um, I think that like what it made me think of with this is like the Fast and Furious series, because as Fast and Furious went along, you can tell that like it was all about like the cars and like the traffic and how they were like blowing up stuff, blah blah blah. So everything was like focused on that, focused on that. That's what I feel like this is doing. Bloodhounds 2 did for me this season. They were trying to. They were doing too much for me. Doing too much that didn't. It like almost felt like you know how kids just play too much. That's what it felt like. So I will say too is that like I did start to perk up around like episode 4, because I feel like the best fight was in that episode when they were like trying to find the girl who's like drugging people. When they were trying to find her, and the way that fight was handled, because like I like it when this when the fight breaks out and it's not like you could, it's not you just picking up shit and you just kind of like you fight, you trying to get out of there alive, you know what I mean? But when they got when the worst fights were the ones that were in the cage, because it's like I said, it's like everything was like calculated. You can see them like almost doing like, okay, in the one and the two, and I put my head here and there. You do this, I do that. It was like push and pull the whole time, like those cage fights, because you could be a boxer, but how you really gonna spar like when you in a street fight for real? Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me. It didn't look like they were um it didn't look authentic, if that makes sense. I did like the scene with the scene. Well, there were a couple of them with Wu Jin and Gong Wu when they had their like heart to heart talks. Like the bromance between those two I like that. I like seeing those two. Which brings me to another point is that like I didn't see a lot of um gung fu in this, to be honest with you. There were so many, and my bad, y'all, but I don't remember all the characters. I didn't remember all the characters from like the season one, but it was like the cop and the other Marine friend and the girl that was in the wheelchair. I forgot about her. Like it was all the surrounding characters that we've seen so much of, and really, it was Gung Woo who really had who was supposed to be the center of everything. It was centered around everything else. Like I feel like and then also too, he wasn't mad enough for me. Like this is the second time that they took my mother. You think I'm not gonna like go ape shit everywhere? He would this season. I felt like um, he was more um like sappy, you know what I mean? Like a sad puppy. And this one, like I would have been, I could be the greatest guy in the world, but I mean, you taking my family now, everybody around me, y'all like messing with. So it's like I can't understand like why he wasn't, even more mad. He was too soft. He was too soft in this one, in this season. So that was another thing. I'm just like, why is he still just sitting there kind of like just like down and out? Like what? Dude, you a boxer. They want you. They want you. You mean to tell me you just sitting there just like, hmm, like, well, and then while everybody else is trying to figure out like what's going on, like that was killing me. I'm just like, if you don't get mad, freaking Wu Jin was more mad, and he had the messed up hand, like he was just ready. Yeah, that was another thing. Now let's get into Minbom, the uh Chase Yuan's character. Minbom is his name, I think. So I this season I wanted him to, because last season he was like, and this season he's even more. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I thought this season he would like come, he would be doing some like he would be like top dog or whatever. But this season he still was like, I'm like, how did you get back in a situation like this? They didn't drugged you and put you in the hospital. Oh my god! I was like, yo, you pathetic. You are pathetic. And then so I can't tell if he's how much of a good guy he is, or is he a good guy? Um, I was a little confused because this is like the season 2 is like a setup, because it looks like it's supposed to be another season, which I ain't mad at. I just need them to do a little bit better on their execution with these fights. Get a little bit more creative and not so calculated. And Mimbom, if you are back, which I think you're gonna be back. I need you to get a little bit more, a little bit smarter. He has an arrogance that it always puts him into these situations. Like the first season, like I, mm, yeah, I could. He was getting my nerves because I was just like, dude, why? How does happen again? How? Why? But all in all, this was a six for me. Like it didn't. It's not my favorite at all. I didn't enjoy it that much. I watched it all. I do think that if they have a season three, I will watch that, because I'm hopeful for a next season because I feel like the potential was there. I think that they just got a little bit too. I think the creators got a little bit too excited as well about the success of it, and they just was just throwing everything in the pot and just it this feels like an experiment for season three. So yeah, I mean, I'll watch the season three if they come up if they have another one. I know that it seems like the ratings seem pretty high, and I know a lot of people like it. So y'all don't come for me, okay? I'm just saying that it could have been a little bit better. All right, I'm just saying. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm really curious now to know what you guys what you guys think about my opinion that I just said, or what you guys think about Bloodhounds 2 compared to the first one. Because I wanna know that too. So yeah, y'all let me know. And like, subscribe, follow for more.